Hey everyone, and welcome to this SOLIDWORKS Sheet Metal tutorial in which we will learn how to model the bottom part of this sheet metal enclosure. And this is the bottom part of the sheet metal enclosure which we will model in this tutorial. And now let me show you its flattened form. And as you can see, this right here is its flattened form. So let's begin. First you need to open a new part file. And since I'm working in millimeters, so I will select here mmgs as units, which means millimeters. Then you need to right click here in the sketch, then you need to enable the sheet metal tab from here. Okay, then you need to select this top plane and click on the sketch, which is the very first option. Then I will select here center rectangle, and I will create here a center rectangle at the origin point, as you can see it from here. You can see these relationships on the origin point. Then you need to select the smart dimensioning tool in order to specify the length and the width of this rectangle. So the length is going to be 250 millimeters, and similarly I will specify the width as well, which is going to be 180 millimeters. Now this is fully defined, as you can see. After that you need to go to the sheet metal tab and select the base flange tab from here. And here you need to specify the thickness of this. So as you can see, the yellow colored material, when I increase this grows as well. So 2 millimeter thickness is fine for this plate, and the K factor is 0.5. okay, then I will check this box. Okay, next, for better visualization, I will specify some appearance. This is, by the way, an optional thing. It's up to you. You can turn on or off the real view graphics. This also as an optional thing. I will turn it off. Then you need to select the edge flange from here in the sheet metal. So in this first window you need to select this edge, the top edge, and then you need to specify the direction, upward or downward. I will specify upward direction. Then after that I will select the three edges without specifying the direction, because it knows the direction from the first one. Okay, if you check this box, then this is our edge flange, and as you can see, the radius. So if you want to change these things, you have to right click on the last edge flange from the design tree, and you need to uncheck this default radius, and you can specify your own radius. For example, if I specify here 2.6, then this is the radius. And you also have to specify the length as well for this edge flange. Okay, now I will explain you one more thing, that is about material in and material out. So by default this is the material in, and these are the different settings for material in and material out, where you want to keep this thing. It will affect the length of the flat surface. Okay, now as you can see these corners, so let me select here the close corner, and this side is smaller and this side is longer, so I will select the smaller side. And also this is the smaller face, and same on the opposite side. So this length is smaller, this length is longer, so I will select the face of the smaller edge, and then I will check the box. Now let me show you. Now this is the close corner with a minor gap. You can specify the gap as well while specifying the close corner. So I think that was 0.1. Then select the edge flange again, and this time I will select this inner edge, and I will specify the inside direction, as you can see. Then I will select here this edit button. I will have this window pop up, so I will drag it up. Then you need to drag this sketch like this, click OK button, and drag from this point. Okay, after that I will specify the dimension. So select the smart dimensioning tool and specify First of all, this gap, so this is going to be 25. Then you have to specify the length and the width of this edge. So width is going to be 35 and height, for example, this is 30. And then select the finish button. Whenever you are done with it, you have to select the finish button. Now this is our edge. Okay, I have to do the same on this side as well, so I will select the edge flange again, and then I will select this edge, select this edit button, and very much similarly I will do the same thing. So I will make that here on this side, and very much similarly you need to specify the gap. The sketch is currently under defined. Then you need to specify this gap, so I will specify it as 25 millimeter. Then I will specify the width and the height, or you can say the length or the width, it's up to you. After that I will select the finish button, cross this window over here, and if for example you want to change the default radius, you can change it from here. So I will specify a 2.6 as the radius by unchecking the default radius, and you can do the same for the other side as well. You can change the default radius by unchecking the default radius and specifying your own desired radius. Now let me see if this can flatten. As you can see, this is its flattened form, and now let me unflatten this. Okay, after that I will go to features and I will select the fillet, specify 5 mm radius fillet, and then I will select these edges. It's better to reduce the sharp edges and the sharp corners from our design, and then check the box. We would also require to cut a hole here, so for that I will specify here a reference center line. So this is going to be a midpoint line from this midpoint to this midpoint, and using the midpoint of this reference line I will create here 2 circles. Then I will specify the diameters. So this is going to be, for example, 8.5. I will press the escape button, hold control key, select both of these circles, make relation equal. Otherwise you can specify the diameter of the other circle manually, it's up to you. After that, go to sheet metal and select extruded cut, and here just check this box, link to thickness, and then click OK button. So 2 holes have been created for the mounting purpose. Then on the back side, if you go to the design library and if you go into the forming tools, then we have different options here. I will select emboss, and let's select the second option and place it over here. Okay, after that select this position tab, it will orient it correctly. Then I will select this dot. As soon as you select this dot, you can put as many embosses here as you want. So I will specify here 4 dots. Okay, right click and click on select, and then I will select the smart dimensioning tool, and let's specify the distances. So 25 by 25 to all of these dots, 25 25, and very much similarly you can specify the same dimension to these as well, but I will do this by specifying just few, and then I will right click here and click on the sketch button, then hold control key and select these two and make relation vertical. it's moved correctly. Hold control key, select these 2 points, make relation horizontal. If you don't know about the relationships, just like I'm doing, you can specify 25 mm gap to all the sides. It's up to you. Hold control key, select these two dots, make relation horizontal. For me this is fully defined, although it's written here under defined, because if I drag these, none of them is going to be draggable. And after that I will check the box. Okay, then I will select this smaller side face and click on normal to button. In the design library we have this circular emboss, so I will drag that over here since I would require two, so I will specify here one more. You can use it by using the dot, it's up to you. After that let me specify here the distance, so this is going to be 45. I will create here a reference midpoint line by looking into this midpoint to this midpoint. Let's create a reference midpoint line. After that I will hold control key, select this midpoint and the reference line and make relation coincident, and very much similarly hold control key, select this midpoint, select this reference line, make relation coincident. Then one more thing was pending, the gap from this side, so this is going to be the same 45 mm. After that I will check the box. Okay, so this has been created over here. We want the same thing on the other side, so I will mirror it. I have to select here this plane. For my cases this is the right plane which is cutting this part in half. You have to see very carefully the orientation. Then go to features, select mirror, and in the features to mirror tab I will select this one, and the right plane by default was selected over here. I kept it selected, the right plane was pre-selected, and I just have to specify the feature to mirror, which I have mirrored on the other side. After that I will select this face and click on normal to button. Then I will go to design library again, and this time I will place here Louvers. Okay, now we have different options over here. Let me specify the position of it first. So first I will create here a reference midpoint line, and this is the center line. Okay, now I will hold control key, select this midpoint and the reference line and make relation coincident. Then I will select the smart dimensioning tool and let me specify this gap from the side. So this is going to be, for example, 75 millimeters. Okay, now this is coincide. So you need to specify that coincident relation just like I have done. Then I will simply check this box, and as you can see this this has to be flipped. Okay, so right click here on the Louver that we have created in the design tree and click on the very first option, that is edit feature. You have to select here flip, and if you want to change the degree then I will specify here 180 because I want the open side to be downward. Okay, and since I want multiple of these Louvers, so I will select here the linear pattern. For the direction window I will specify this edge, the horizontal edge, this one. And if I go down, then here we have features and faces, in which I will select this Louver. You need to specify the gap and the numbers, so let's specify the gap. The number are going to be 6, and then you can check the box. Then select this face and click on normal to button. So in the design library we have these flanges, so I will place one here. Then if I go to the position, and once again I will use the reference midpoint center line from this midpoint to this midpoint. Again I will hold control key, select this midpoint, select this reference line, make relation coincident, then I will specify the gap 35 millimeter the gap. I would require the same on the right side as well, so I will select this dot, place it over here, then I will specify the gap. So this is going to be 35 millimeter from the side. Okay, then check the box. Now since I want the same things on the other side as well, so what I will do, I will use a mirror. So I want a plane that cut this part in half like this. So in my case this is the front plane, as you can see. After that you need to select in features tab, you need to select the mirror. So front plane is selected initially, so in features to mirror I will select all of these and the linear pattern and then check the box. So this have been mirrored on the other side. Now let me turn on the real view graphics and let me show you its flattened form as well. So in this tutorial we have modeled this bottom part, and in the next tutorial we will model its top part, and then we will also assemble it as well. And this right here, it is its flattened form. Let me rotate it, let me show you from all the sides. Now let me save this file as the bottom part in the folder. And that's all for this tutorial guys, and see you in the next tutorial.